Welcome back, guys, to the Mindcrack server. Welcome back to the Mindcracker. We are working on the farm building. Big surprise. The project that has consumed my life and soul, and every last drop, drip drop, blibbity blop of moss stone brick flippity thingies I got from my mouth did not work today. All of these blocks I got from the stronghold. And I've done some updating, and I think it's really starting to look snazzy. The more I work on this project, the more I like it. Wait till I show you what I did down below. You might be able to tell that the reeds are in all the rooms. I have completed the reed section. It's done. I might add some little details later. But I've done quite a bit off camera. So let me walk you through what I've done. First thing I did off camera is I returned to the stronghold. And I farmed up a whole lot of more blocks. A whole lot of more blocks. That's not it. This is what I have left now. I still have 5 stacks of mossy stone brick and 4.5 stacks of cracked stone brick. And I haven't used the moss stone at all. And we have a lot of cobblestone. So, I think next video we will return and finish off the map room. And I'm going to try to do enough mapping off camera between this video and next video in 2 days. 2 days time. So that we can finish up the map room, put all of the maps on the wall. And then I believe that's the last thing we're waiting on to update to the snapshots. Looks like the B team have divided up a lot of these leftover plots. I certainly wouldn't buy one from them, but if I wanted to use one, I would just take it. We still have things like this here, which we need to get cleaned up. So I think one of these plots could be like an enchanting, smelting, crafting, anvil, brewing room, just sort of a catch-all for all of these types of things. But it could be organized into some sort of shop that looks a little nicer. Nebris's stuff is still here. Who knows where he's been? I mean, I know where he's been. He's been moving and his computer broke and that kind of stuff. We could probably just move this. He actually said that we could move this, and just nobody has gotten around to it. I may do that eventually once I get a little bit more to a state of completion on the farm building. We also still need an animal building for the cows and sheeps and pigs. We still have these. These are like the starter pens, and we need a building similar to that. Doesn't have to be as much of a soul-consuming, all-encompassing, overly complicated and block expensive thing. It can just be a simple building, but we need something to get rid of these guys. And I don't even know what this is over here. Has someone set up? I haven't walked back here in a while. Arcus has set up this. I really like, I think I mentioned this last time, but I really like that he put all this work into this scaffolding. And I asked him about it, and he said he's just going to tear it down when he's done. And I'm like, man, you can't even make scaffolding without making it look awesome. Like when I make scaffolding, I just harvest a bunch of leaf blocks and just put it wherever I need it and then get rid of it, you know, the occasional times I finish projects. But nope, he's got to make like nice looking wood fence and slab scaffoldings. What is this in here? Someone must have just started setting up here. Oh, reserved by new Mindcracker. That's right, we have a new member on the Mindcrack server. I know who it is. You don't. Nya, nya, nya. I didn't know where he was building. I knew he was building something on the server. And looks like he's been doing some resource collection to get up to speed. Oh, a lot of stuff there. Went after some quartz. Oh, maybe lapis is going to key into it. This is it looks like a sign-off shelter. But this is apparently where his build is going to be. I hadn't looked for it yet, but I guess that's it. Anything else to look at before we head over to the farm building? I don't think so. I have not done anything on the map room. And like I said before, let's say hi to peoples. Let's take his... I like to take people's catchphrases from them before they can say them. I like to rob them. But he didn't choose to use it anyway. Okay, anyway, I'm going to try to do all the remaining mapping, 14 maps. And a lot of it's water, so not necessarily an hour per map, so maybe a bit less than that, but still a lot of time. Probably at least 10 hours of mapping, something like that, if I gave an estimate, depending on how many boats glitch out and break. I wanted to say blitz, but I was trying to say glitch and break at the same time. But we're going to finish that up next time. Okay, let's get to work here, or let's get to showing you what I did. You can see a little bit of it is done. I've replaced the staircase with cobblestone just tentatively. And I've replaced all of these with mostly the... Let me actually, in case I need some, in case I notice a place where I've forgotten, let's go ahead and grab 2 stacks of each. And one of those. And one of those. And I have some cobblestone. Okay, that's probably good. Cracked stone bricks. I've replaced all of these with cracked stone bricks. And I think I exposed the aqueducts a little more, and I added this block here so that they have more of a solid appearance going down through there. It looks a little bit more carved and defined. And I think these ledges here are going to have plants on them eventually. There may be some dirt blocks in here with some tall grass or flowers or something like that. Once we get to the snapshots, we're going to have a lot more flower options. I don't know, we may have to explore to get some, so I may not have access to them. But we can definitely do some of the new flowers and some of the things you can do. And if you remember, there used to be balconies here, and I pulled them back. I pulled them back, for one thing, this right here, once we get down there, you'll see it's mirrored above. And so in order for it to look right and to match, I pulled it back, and these guys are going to have some plants as well, not only with dirt blocks, but also with the little clay pots that you can put down and put like flowers and shrubs in and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of plants all over, and then eventually there'll be vines hanging down. So it's going to look just like there's just vegetation everywhere, like it's a bit overgrown, and hopefully that'll really play nicely with the green in this moss brick. Okay, let me show you the rest of what I've done, and then I'll show you what update. Man, Generic B has been raiding my reeds nonstop, and I have been trying to incorporate some nice lighting into my builds, into this build. I think if I had to say what my biggest weakness is in terms of building in Minecraft, and I've been aware of this for a while and wanted to do something about it, lighting is always kind of an afterthought. I think you could say that about most people who build in Minecraft. It's mostly more about, for most people, getting rid of monsters and making everything as bright as possible. BOO likes some moody lighting. He has resisted. I'm the one who put these torches up here, by the way. I did that during, we were about to, I think it was during the last UHC when we were meeting in here, and there was just monsters all over the place. And so I lit that up. I sort of thought that he would take those down and do something about it, but apparently he didn't mind that much. But yeah, he resisted lighting this up for a long time because he wanted it to be dark and moody. And I've always had this impulse to just make everything bright, and I think we can do something more interesting. So, all that being said, I've tried to incorporate some cool lighting into these chambers down here while still giving enough light for reeds to grow. So you can see, oh, he just, damn it. Anyway, I'll show the other side. Yeah, so there's glowstone down here, so it adds a nice amount of lighting. And if you look straight down, you can see it's kind of like a symmetrical view. And the reason I pulled back the balcony here, oh, I forgot one. The reason I pulled back the balcony is so that this shelf thingy, detail, whatever you want to call it, mirrors what's above. And then it also comes back on this side as well. So now we have like a really nice corridor look. And you can see it gets darker around the corner here. And I couldn't go too crazy with the lighting because it needs to be bright enough for the reeds to grow. How much did he harvest? Did he go all the way around? No, he didn't. Okay, good. We can look at this one. Okay, now this is more like what it will normally look like because it won't be getting used nonstop. You can see like there's sort of, it's a little darker at top. The floor is a little brighter lit. The reeds are all brighter. There's like just little differences in shadows here, especially there where the corridor turns. And there's also, oh, he must have taken them. There were reeds in there. And also I made it all the way around, so this floor is done. And we've got sort of the ruins look. I did not get any dirt. I should probably get some dirt. Let me go grab some dirt because I want to emphasize the ruins even a little bit more on that level. So let's grab that. So this is sort of where the building has been exposed through erosion from the hillside eroding away from this river carving out the hill. And so I've got some like dirt blocks just sort of in the way that where like the stones have eroded and there's just dirt and soil that's accumulated. And you can see this, I didn't even intend this, but the grass ended up growing around here. I think we can do a little bit more with it though. Like this path here is a little too uniform, or it's too pristine. It looks flawless, and that's no good. It needs to look like it's eroded. So let's get rid of some of these blocks and replace them with dirt. Especially if, probably as this would be eroding, some of it would be caving in. And so we might want to do some things like that. And I don't think the grass will actually grow that way, but maybe that's not too important that there's grass everywhere. Let's do this one. But it should look like the thing has eroded. And in order to also work on that, I probably want to put some cobblestone around. Like the pieces have fallen over. And all of this would have been... Let's see, some of this would have been cobblestone because these walls are all made of cobblestone. So let's do some stuff like this. Maybe if we sort of overlap the dirt and the cobblestone, it'll look nice and ruined. Maybe something, yeah, let's extend the cobblestone there. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. I don't want to go too crazy with it because I want to be able to, for people to walk through here as they're running around getting reeds. I want them to be able to get them. And I want you to still be able to tell that there once was a path there. And then maybe like something like that. We'll just put some occasional stones. And once I go through and start doing some finishing touches, maybe we'll start doing some little things like this where there'll just be stones scattered around because they would have been possibly washed down the hillside as the river runs through this valley. I don't know, but I think that's starting to look kind of cool. Eventually I'll put vines in here too. Like the whole thing is just overgrown and has recently been rediscovered or something. Although why is all this so pristine? I don't know. It doesn't have to be that consistent. It's just a fun idea. Okay, let me show you one other thing. One other thing. Oh, another thing I need to decide before I show you the one other thing is if there's water flowing down here. Right now we've got this empty aqueduct. I decided to put water in this one. So maybe we'll have part of a pool or something. I don't know. I kind of want the water to be here, but where's it coming from if there's no pool? That's a question. How far do I want to take the little role-playing idea of a abandoned or a Like, yeah, like an abandoned ruin of a jungle building. So I showed you all this. Now, the path behind here is even more moodily lit because there's no lighting at all. And I think it looks okay during the day. So we've got this sort of dark corridor and then a light at the end and a little bit of light there. And it looks okay during the day because we're getting light from here. So the sunlight is at 15. And as we get back to here, it's at 11. But if you look at the block light, we're at 0 because there's no lighting besides the sunlight. So once night falls, this gets a little too dark for my taste, so I need to do something about that. I'm also not quite sure about if this right here is detailed enough. Maybe we should recess this a little bit. I'm not sure. I think this may need a little bit of work. And the other thing I'm not quite sure about is I don't think there's much contrast between the cobblestone stairs and what are these things called? The names are so confusing. Cracked stone bricks. There's not much contrast between the cracked stone bricks and the cobblestone stairs. I would like those to stand out a little bit more, but I'm not sure how to do that without changing to a totally different block that stands out too much. So maybe I just forget about it and move on. Okay, but for today, or for the rest of the video anyway, because I already spent like a zillion hours working on all of this, I want to start, before I go down to the bottom level and work on that, because we still have to work on that, and I think what I'll do with the bottom level is I'll make it a wheat level, all wheat, because someone mentioned in the comments, or at least several people did, that we'll need a lot of wheat for breeding cows for food. Especially if someone makes a cow building or, you know, just a farm animal building. So I'm going to do something similar to like this that'll be fairly functional to run through, although the dirt will probably be 1 block higher. And you'll just run through and grab it all up and then replant it. And, oh gosh. Yeah, he's been taking all of my reeds. All of the reeds. They're not my reeds, they're community reeds. So good, it's actually getting used. I'm glad. I was sort of worried that when I built this, it would just sit here and no one would use it because everyone's kind of established. But I'm glad people have found uses for it. Maybe when people need green dye, they'll come take the cacti. So the bottom level will be similar. We'll have a path running back behind these rooms somehow. I'm not sure how. Maybe it'll go through here. And then if people just want to parkour, they can just jump across here. And there may be some pools down here. And all of these aqueducts just sort of end, but I would like them to lead into pools. So there will be similar rooms back there with wheat. But before we get to that, I've got a big problem to solve. Let me show you what it is. So when we started building this thing, I didn't really have much of an idea of where I was going with it, and it's just sort of evolved as I've worked on it. And I really like what has happened with all this. But then if we look at this guy, he's like very different. I started out with just this flat parking garage thing, and I made it better, but still, I was never really pleased with it. I do like this sort of, the stairs being an arch kind of thing, and all of this just sort of hanging in the air. But I'm wondering if it contrasts too much with the ruins. So there's 2 ways to go about it. One, which is the direction I'm probably going to go, is to remake this guy to be more in the style of these guys, of all this. More in the style of all this. Or I can make it look totally different, like it was a building that was existing here, and as they were excavating the ground to build it, they discovered the ruins, so it could be totally different. That's an idea, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because we already have the water coming down, so they already have that similarity. But if we make them the same, here's the problem. I'm going to have to redesign like a lot of this structural stuff. I did make sure that, like, for instance, this pool is centered in the center of the building. Remember at the very beginning of this project, I set up all those proportions and leaf blocks and whatnot. So this column is centered with this pool, but they don't really they don't really match up. Like, I've got very specific things going on. These are 3 blocks wide, 2 blocks deep. These shelves are like receded by 1 block. None of this looks like that at all. So I think we need to do, the first thing I need to do is to figure out how this central column is going to look. Do we keep the stone slabs? And do we keep it the shape it is? I think that's job number 1, is to figure that out. We might abandon this arch idea because it doesn't fit at all with any of this. At all. Say hey to people. Okay. So, okay, do I need any other blocks? Let me see. I've got those guys, these guys. Let me make a few more. Actually, I probably don't need the slabs. Let me grab a little more cobblestone. I'll just go and grab those. And the stairs. Let me do a little bit of work. Let me see if I can come up with something to fix that problem. All right, here's what I'm thinking. Ignore the ladder. That's just so I could get up there. I removed all the cactus and sand so that we could look at this a little bit with a more unobstructed view. And a lot of this, we're going to have to update all of this so that it has the same style as this. But I thought we'd just remove all the plants all together. And I made it so that this central column now, it's bigger, if you can't tell. Hey. It matches the style of this guy. I left the stone slab center there. I don't know if that's necessarily important, because what I want to do is put water coming down these guys on 4 sides. And it'll hopefully look nice with this. We're going to add water to it right now. I may eventually change that center column into the moss bricks. You may not really be able to tell. In these guys, I also did that. Like these blocks back here that you can barely see, those are moss bricks. If you get in here, you can tell. So a little detail. Let's head over. Let's see. I need to come over here. I need to remove the ladders. Whoa. My phone is a-buzzing. I feel like a bit double O. I have to turn it on to silent. I normally keep it on silent, which is why you never hear my phone, but it was on vibrator just there. If you could hear that, maybe you couldn't. Okay, so what I want to do is drop some water. Let's actually just dig this out. Whoa, gosh. I completely dug up the arch. Oh, we can't see it from there. I was going to say out with the old, in with the new, because I keep changing the design or, updating it or whatever. But it's more like out with the new, in with the old, because I've gone with this older, like, ruin, abandoned temple thingy. So all of this got dug up. That whole stair thingy that I spent so long detailing, it's gone. It's gone. It wasn't going to fit together. Okay, so here's a decision I'll have to make. Does the water start here and we have the stair go like it normally does? Or like it did? In terms of just going up with slabs? Or do I rebuild the stair in a different way? So that it matches up with these guys a little more. That's the next decision. But I want to see what this looks like first. So let's drop water there. And then look at it from a distance. I think this is the nearest source of water blocks. And drop water down the other 2. There we go. Okay, so now we have flowing water. If we back up, what do we think? What do we think? I'm wondering if I just remove all of this. Maybe I remove all of this and put the cacti somewhere else. I wonder if it would look, if it would emphasize this idea of this whole thing being held up by this column. If we could see it better if I just remove this, because then we'd be able to see all the way down into this thing. Right now, this diving board looking thing, it's obstructing our view, isn't it? Let's dig it up. Let's dig it up. Whoop! Can never be afraid of finding your earlier ideas wrong. Can't be afraid to say, whoop, that first idea I had, it was bad. Sometimes, actually a lot of times, my first impression or thought ends up being the right one, or, you know, the one I go with, where I deliberate for a long time and I'll be like, maybe I should change it. And I try something else, and then I end up going back to what I originally did. But this time, I think the case is a little different because I've developed this very distinct style with sort of rules, you might say, of the way things are supposed to look. Okay, how far back can we go? I guess that's as far as we need to right now. And what, if anything, is out here in the future, we will decide at a later time. Let's pick up all this stuff. I have inventory room. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Maybe that'll be a little bit cooler. And since I've expanded this to such a stupid degree, we're gonna have a lot of room to put the cacti somewhere else. Yeah, that could work. It's a little bit... I'm wondering if maybe it should be a little bit more developed of a shape than just a straight up and down column. Maybe it should have some very subtle bends like this. Not that big, obviously, because there's no room. But just very subtle to give it like some shape of some kind. And then, okay, so the next question is, does this water thing go all the way to the top? I had this idea, like this was a pump, and it was pumping water up to the top, and then maybe the water up here would be in channels, and it would be pouring out of these guys. So if you think of like the Hanging Gardens concept, you would pump water up to the top, and then you would have these waterfalls. Not that I mean, we're playing Minecraft, not that there needs to be something consistent like that, but it might look cool is the idea. The important thing is that it looks cool. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that idea. I'm still not exactly sure how this bottom part's gonna look. I just had this idea of having pools down there, but I don't know what that means really. And now that we've done this, oh gosh, it changes so many things. Well, I still need this path here. That was my thought. Man, is this path like not necessary anymore? But I still need this to get to the other side of the reeds because this sort of makes a big rectangle, more or less. So you still need this to get to the other side without going up and down stairs again that aren't exactly direct because you have to bend around like this. So we still need that path. It's just that this little bit right here, maybe this will be some kind of like little balcony like that. And then we'll have, oh, yes. And then we'll have something like this right here. Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's the ticket. That is the ticket. Okay, so I think that's a good decision for that. Oh, you know what? This right here, this strongly resembles these rooms right here. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, we're going to put something in those. Maybe some of the cacti will be in here. Although I'm not sure how that's going to work because you can't have a block next to a cactus, otherwise it'll pop off. So we'll have to fiddle with that, but that's definitely an idea. Maybe even another set of reeds or something. But I think that is definitely an idea. Yeah. Okay, good. Then the next decision, I think these stairs, I think they need to go up this way as well. So we need to abandon this idea and then figure out a way for the stairs to go up. They either need to go up the center like this, but then they would be 3 blocks wide. If we want to keep them like as close to this form as possible, they need to be 2 blocks wide, so they may just go up. Let me put some of these on the bar. They may just go up like this. On either side. That's going to break into this, but we need to rebuild that anyway. So they may go up the... Man, this project is never going to end. I'm just going to continually be redesigning things. But I don't... That's actually not true. I don't think so, because I really like this. And we're basically just making the rest of the project, all this stuff up here, we have to make it look like this and match that. Oh, and I think these have a stair, a block, and then an upside down stair. So this isn't quite right. But I think that's what we need to do. And maybe they need to bend too, because these turn. These turn and wrap around. So maybe I need to work on that. But I think that's the way we're going to go going forward. There wasn't a lot of building on camera this episode. It was almost like a world tour kind of thing where I just walked you through what I'd already done. And I need to get to the mapping, and it's going to take a long time to do that in order to have all the maps done for next time. But look forward to that. We're going to finish the map wall, and hopefully that same video we will finish the ceiling, or the roof, not the ceiling. We'll finish the roof, and then I guess in a future episode we'll do the world tour of the server and add everyone's little tiny maps to the map wall. But the map wall of the continent, we'll finish that next time. Let me know what you think about all of this stuff. Yeah, a lot of things have been reworking, but I think the overall build is going to be much better as a result. And I'm really enjoying this build. So it's not like it's tortured having to rebuild all this stuff. Hey, I like doing this kind of stuff. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys later. Take it easy. Have a good day. Bye-bye.